Okay, in our previous video, we took a look at the predetermined overhead rate and how we took the total estimated overhead cost for the next year divided by the total estimated cost driver of direct labor hours, and we got $5 per direct labor hour. Then we looked at how we break that down to variable and fixed components by taking just, instead of the total estimated overhead costs, we take the total variable overhead costs we think we're going to have for next year divided by the total cost driver, and that gave us $3 per direct labor hour. And we took the total fixed costs we think we're going to have next year and divided by the total cost driver, and that gave us $2 per direct labor hour. When we get done breaking this into variable and fixed rates, I should be able to add those two together and get my normal predetermined rate. Now I'm going to go and calculate out my variances for variable overhead. So I'm going to be using this $3 overhead rate. Okay, so the variable overhead variances are just like the direct materials and direct labor variances. We have a cost variance and an efficiency or quantity variance. So the cost variance is the same formula that we had for direct materials and direct labor. The actual cost per unit minus the standard cost per unit, and then that amount times the actual quantity. So in the case of cheerful colors, overhead cost driver is direct labor hours. So this actual cost would be the actual cost, variable overhead cost, minus the standard variable overhead cost. Now the standard variable overhead cost is that one we just calculated out, okay, in the previous screen, okay, and we're going to multiply that by the actual quantity. In this case, overhead is the quantity of direct labor hours, the cost driver. So this is the actual quantity of direct labor hours. Then we have the variable overhead efficiency or quantity variance. So for cheerful colors, overhead cost driver is direct labor hours. So this means the actual quantity of direct labor hours minus what we thought we should use of direct labor hours. And then that difference times the standard cost for variable overhead, which is what we just figured out in the previous slide. So here for cheerful colors, their standard variable overhead that, again, we just figured out a couple slides ago was $3 per direct labor hour. The actual amount of direct labor hours was 10,400. The actual cost of the variable overhead that we have is $30,160. So our actual variable overhead rate is to take our actual variable overhead cost divided by our actual number of direct labor hours, and that gives us the fact that what we actually were paying was $2.90 per direct labor hour for variable costs. Okay, and so that's our actual cost per unit for variable overhead, $2.90. Our standard cost for each direct labor hour of variable overhead is $3. So $2.90 minus $3. And then we multiply that difference, that 10-cent difference, times how many hours, direct labor hours, did we actually have, our actual quantity, which was 10,400 direct labor hours. Okay, and so that 10 cents times the 10,400 hours gives us 1,040. Because our actual variable overhead rate is less than our standard variable overhead rate, that will be a favorable variance. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at the variable overhead efficiency or quantity variance. Okay. And again, we figure the standard is that it should take 1/4 of a direct labor hour, that's 15 minutes, for every batch of crayons. We had 52,000 batches times 0.25 of a direct labor hour is 13,000 direct labor hours we expected. Okay, but what we actually had of direct labor hours was only 10,400. Okay, and our standard variable overhead rate is $3 per direct labor hour. That's what we had figured out a few slides ago. So we take our actual quantity, 10,400 hours, minus the standard quantity that we thought we would use, which is the 13,000 hours, and we multiply that difference times the standard cost for overhead for direct labor, and that is $3 per direct labor hour. And so we come up with 7,800. Now again, our actual quantity is less than our standard quantity, so that always leads to a favorable. So we have 7,800 favorable quantity variance for variable overhead. Now moving on to the fixed overhead. The fixed overhead's not variable, it's not expected to change dependent on the number of units or the number of direct labor hours. So to find the fixed overhead variance, we simply subtract the standard or expected overhead costs from the flexible budget from the actual fixed overhead costs that we paid out for the year. And so the actual fixed overhead minus the budgeted fixed overhead, that's our fixed overhead cost variance. We don't have it broke down into multiple different types. So for cheerful colors, let's say that 25,000 is what they had on the flexible budget for their fixed overhead costs, but what we actually did, let's say, turns out to be 23,920. Okay, so we would take our actual minus what we had budgeted, and that gives us 1,080. And because the actual is less than the standard, that leads to a favorable fixed overhead variance. All right, so now what this slide shows us is all the variances that we have done through these videos. So we had looked at the direct materials cost variance, that was $9,750 favorable, and the direct materials efficiency or quantity variance, that was $22,750 unfavorable. So together these two equal the 13,000 unfavorable direct materials variance that's on the budget report, which you didn't get to see, but you would combine these two cost and efficiency variances to see what we ended up with. So remember that we bought paraffin wax for a lot less per pound than what we thought, and that led to the favorable cost variance. But that made us use a lot more of the wax. A lot more of it was probably bad and had to be tossed. Some others, caused various other problems. So between the two of them, we lost $13,000 of operating income. So we will probably not be using that wax anymore. We will talk to the purchasing director about that cost and how did he get the cost down, and what about the quality of it, etc.? We'll have to talk to the foreman in the factory, the supervisor in the factory, and see why did we why did we use 13,000 pounds more of wax than we should have? Was there some kind of problem with the wax? Was there a problem with the labor crew? Was there some kind of explosion in the factory? What happened? Okay, and the supervisor of the factory is going to be able to tell us that. So those are both going to get investigated. Then for our direct labor, we had the direct labor cost variance. That was $20,800 unfavorable because we spent $14 an hour for our labor instead of $12 an hour. However, our efficiency direct labor variance was $31,200 favorable. So between the two of them, we had a $10,400 favorable direct labor variance. So we're going to talk to the human resources director about the direct labor cost variance. Why did we spend 14 instead of 12? And we'll talk to the foreman out in the factory about why did we use so many less hours than we should have, than we thought we would, okay? Was it because we got more highly trained workers and they were able to do it much more efficiently, their work? We may want to consider, since this was worked out well, we may want to consider doing that again. Okay, for the overhead, we had the variable overhead cost variance of $1040 favorable, the variable overhead efficiency variance of $7,800 favorable. They're both favorable, so instead of subtracting like we did on these other ones, we add those two together. Then we also had the fixed overhead cost variance, which was $1080 favorable. All three of those favorable, we total them all together, so we have a grand total overhead variance of $9,920. So between the $13,000 unfavorable, the $10,400 favorable labor variance, and the $9,920 favorable overhead variance, we add the two favorable, subtract the unfavorable. So that gives us $7,320 total flexible budget variance. Okay, and so in other words, our operating income was $7,320 better than we thought it would be. And these are the reasons why. And so our next step is to take a look at investigating all of those. And a lot of times we have something called a management by exceptions. And many companies set an amount, like a threshold amount, and any variances that are above that amount are going to be investigated. So if it's only a $500 variance, we're not worried about that, and we would not go further investigate it. But you have tens of thousands of dollars difference, then yes, we're going to investigate that. So and they are investigated. It doesn't matter if they're favorable or unfavorable. It's like I say, just because it says favorable doesn't mean it's a good thing. Okay? If and only if the investigation leads to knowledge that future costs are different from what was set in the standards and are expected to remain so, then we'll go ahead and change the standard. We never change a standard simply because the actual costs are different. So if Cheerful Colors sets a $5,000 threshold and they're going to investigate everything, every variance above $5,000, then they would have these 5 variances to take a look at. Here is a list of the kinds of questions that they would ask the purchasing manager, production manager,